Damian, you're going to clear up all this mess? The place is a state. I've been cooking all day long. I'm not cleaning it as well. You can get the boys to help.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. What should I do with my plate?
Pass it here, Tom. Give it to me.
Can you not do that? That's my grandmother's Westfarthing polystyrene plates. They're 100 years old. Don't do that, you'll blunt them.
Oh, you hear that, lads? He says we blunt the knives. Blunt the knives, bend the forks,
Smash the bottles and burn the corks.
chip the glasses and crack the plates.
That's what Emma
overhates. Cut the cloth, trail the fat, leave the bugs on the bedroom mat, pour the milk on the pantry floor. Smash the wine on every door, dump the crocks in a boiling bowl, pound them up with a thumping pole, and when you finish it, lay a hole. Send them down the halter road. That's what everyone hates. Should we do the Palantir? Welcome, Strategy Battle Gamers, to the GBHL YouTube video. You're here, your host, GBHL Damian.
And GBHL Tom.
And we are here with episode 8 of The Palantir. Yep, here we are, back to a two-man show.
Yeah, wow, it's been a while.
It has. We've had a couple of weeks with our guests.
Yeah.
And thanks to Mr. James Giblin and
Tom 2.0.
Tom 2.0.
Excellent Tom.
Good quality Tom.
Yeah.
For my money, the best Tom to appear in the Palantir.
It's probably correct.
By some way.
Yeah.
Both in terms of quality of what he said
Yeah.
and the amount per minute that I've enjoyed him.
Yeah.
I would say I've enjoyed him per minute more
Yeah.
than I enjoyed all the other Toms that have appeared on the Palantir in total.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the viewers would agree.
Yeah, it's a fair comment.
But yeah, it is kind of great to be back. I think it's nice to be back sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I was over here for a while.
Yeah, you're
But
a long way away.
it's nice to kind of get rid of the pretenders.
Yeah.
Kind of get back in. So we are back with another weekly dose of the news, the reviews, the gossip, the comments, the issues, and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be chatting about a few of those, and as ever, what as ever, Tom?
Oh, you've done it on me this time. As ever, these are our own opinions. We're not always right. We're probably wrong.
And I don't reflect the views of the GBHL League or the GBHL YouTube channel.
No, anything like that.
So we're just spitballing here, basically.
Yeah.
What's that you've got in your hand, Tom?
It's a mug.
Mug of tea.
Hey.
David Worker. How are you? Little mug review for you.
Yeah.
I've got, we talked about, what did you have? Did you have a dairy milk?
Yeah, dairy milk last
This is a
night.
very similar kind of mug from an Easter egg. So, as I said, these fill up a week cupboards.
No expenses spared at the Ober.
Absolutely, yeah. Good quality mugs, though.
Yeah.
They hold your tea, but not too special.
No. However, I've got a mug.
What have you got?
It's a cool mug.
A lovely love story with dinosaurs on it.
Mm.
That's quite sort of cool. So, a lovely love story, if any of you know, is a poem by Edward Monckton. And look, would you like to read it to them, Tom?
Well, I can
Don't
show.
make them read them. So.
Oh, okay.
It's on the back.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, I want a dramatic reading.
It's hard. It's hard to hold. How dramatic? Because it has capitals here. I feel as if I should shout those bits.
I shout.
Okay. The fierce dinosaur was trapped inside his cage of ice until a lovely other dinosaur came and melted it with his kind thoughts and loving words. Now they stand together on the hill, telling each other stories and feeling the warmth of the sun on their backs. The end.
It's a love story about two dinosaurs.
Mm.
And it's part of a longer poem called, it's called A Lovely Story, isn't it? The Lovely Love Story.
Probably.
Something like that. Things I should know. And the reason it's important is because we had that read at our wedding.
Yes, and it says Emma and Damian, 29th of July, 2011.
It does, on the handle. And yeah, so we had that little poem read at our wedding. I think a lot of people, it was about if the lady dinosaur liked shopping and the male dinosaur is a male and is grumpy. And it was very appropriate.
The Grumposaurus.
We had it read, And a lot of people thought that we'd changed the words to it. They thought it was a normal poem that we'd put dinosaurs in.
Oh, right.
It's actually a real thing, and we actually heard it at another friend's wedding, and had to go up to her afterwards and went, "Hi, can we have that?
Yeah.
So, is there any chance we can have that at our wedding?" So we had it read at our wedding, and we got the mugs. I think my mum had them done. My mum had those mugs made for us, which is very sweet. So obviously that mug is quite nice for me. Makes me smile when I see it. So there you go.
Top quality mug review.
Indeed. I always enjoy. I like the fact that any new person who's never seen this before would watch this show expecting some mention of the Hobbit SPG or Lord of the Rings, and just go, "What the hell are these two guys doing?"
Talking about mugs.
Yeah, just banging on about mugs. But indeed. So previously on the Palantir, we had what were we discussing?
With Tom, we were just discussing the extended edition that had just come out that day.
Yeah, the Destination Sparrow, which was amazing.
Yeah, it was very
So
good.
we watched that and we talked about that at length. Since then, I have gorged myself on the special features. As I think we mentioned, you don't get the commentary on the digital version, but you get everything else.
Scan.
Yeah, and there's loads. And the Unexpected Journey special features were really, really good on the extended version. But I think, I haven't actually looked at it, it feels like there's more on this one.
Okay.
Like I think I worked out that there are about 7 or 8 hours purely of documentaries, which is fantastic.
Yeah. A lot to get your teeth into.
Yeah, that's what Smaug said. And I've worked my way through most of it. I've watched quite a few of them. I think I was doing. I can't remember what I was doing. I was working on something and just put them on in the background, and then you know 4 hours later you're like still there. But they're really fantastic. So if anyone, I can't believe there would be any people. If anyone was in doubt about where to get them, go out. They are right up there with the Lord of the Rings features. They're ordered slightly differently. In the Lord of the Rings one had very much a kind of script writing. Storyboarding, building, filming, post-production, editing, sound editing, like that. It doesn't work like that. It's done in, it goes scene by scene. So the part 9, which I also get very excited about, I think that's a really cool touch, that the appendices to the Hobbit are parts 7 and 8. Yeah. And this is part 9 and 10 because it's 6 films, so parts 1 to 6 on Lord of the Rings. That's a nice touch. But yeah, part 9 is basically all the different scenes. So you get a bit about Baelon, a half an hour documentary about Baelon's house, half an hour documentary about the Elven halls, half an hour documentary about the spiders. It's this kind of thing, and throughout that it talks about every aspect of it. So it talks about the writing, it talks about the cast, it talks about the change they made, it talks about the filming, all that kind of thing. And so it's more integrated. Which is a bit of a shame because I miss the Lord of the Rings proper featurettes on the script.
That gives you a kind of an idea of how they put it all together. How you go about making the film as opposed to making a scene. But
they are incredibly good. I mean, you're talking when you're finding problems, you're talking about saying that the Lord of the Rings extras, which I think are the best DVDs I've ever had, you know, are incredibly good, and the Hobbit extras are slightly less incredibly good. Yeah, and it's still. If you enjoy the films, as obviously most of us do on these channels, but it's just incredible. Yeah. I was hoping for 2 documentaries. I was hoping for one kind of in-depth look at why they split it into 3 films. Yeah. And there isn't one. Okay. But what there is there's a featurette about the Bree scene. Right. And they built, I mean, as much as they use CGI, they built the whole Bree town. That's not a matte painting. Again. The street.
Just for the prologue.
Yeah, they built not even for the prologue, for one shot. The shot of Thorin walking down, that's all there. And they built the prancing pony at the end, and it's the real set. So it's a tracking shot. It's not done with CG that goes in through the door, and the pub is there. And so they did, and that's the same and all that. So you do realise how many physical sets they built. But when they're doing that, because that was added when they changed it, at the start of that documentary, there's about 2, 3, 4 minutes where they address it, where they sort of mention how they start and why they made the decision and the changes they had to make, and how they then had to change the story to make sure there was a beginning and an end for film 2. And you will not be surprised to know that is when all the chasing Smaug around Erebor stuff was started. So if it was 2 films, that wouldn't have been in it, which I don't think is a huge surprise. But what's really interesting, I know you hate that bit, and a lot of people hate that bit, And if you go and watch the documentaries, I think it's the last documentary in part 9. They're brutally honest about it. Like Richard Armitage does this really funny bit where he goes, I want to bring you round here and show you the forges of the dwarfs, because they're in Erebor, the full set. And he goes, and you think this is good, wait till you see the forges of the dwarfs. And he goes around and it's literally just a big green square. And then they talk about it and they just say the actors didn't have a clue what they were doing. They were just running around. And then Peter Jackson's been interviewed saying, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. He said, I had to act like I knew what I was doing, and I had a rough idea in my head, but I was basically filming actors react to stuff and saying, right, look over there, now look over there, and now look over there. So everything in that bit is green screened. Everything. There's no set whatsoever for that section. Like from when they leave that chamber with all the dead dwarfs, everything's green screened. And then they built the scene in post production, which is really interesting the way he did that. Like they filmed it all pre-viz and then he filmed that inside this virtual set, which is kind of interesting. But you can see that why that bit just feels slightly out of place in the film, because it's all done with CG. But again, give credit to them. The honesty of it is incredible. They're very forthcoming about the process, and I'm ultimately glad there are 3 films. Even if that one section at the end is kind of.
I just think they could have done it without having that bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd still have been fine.
Yeah. But that's quite interesting. The other thing that absolutely fascinated me, that I loved, was have you seen the whole barrel escape thing they built? They built the actual thing. If you watch the sequence on the barrel, it's half an hour. How they put that scene together is incredible. Like the amount of different pieces and how it makes this coherent action scene is just a staggering testament to the power of like your director and your editor and all that. But you know the gate scene, where all the barrels hit it and where Keeley jumps out. Everything in that scene, they're not in water. They are in these barrels that they are like the Flintstones cars, moving along with their feet, and it's all on a dry set.
Really?
So from the bit where they bump into the gate, all of that, there's no water there. All the water in that is CGI. And that is incredible, because that's, you know, everyone goes, oh, so much CGI in that. No one ever suggested that was CG.
I don't know why they bother though.
I think it's just to control the environment, because there's a lot of, in that scene, there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen as opposed to just barrels going down the water. So because they needed all these action beats. And it's and you watch it and you're staring at it and go, this looks stupid. And then they go and, you know, these guys do their wizardry. And that was just it was like, fair enough, well played, sir. That's incredible. So, you get those bits, and then part 10 is more specific. You have part 10, which there's like an hour and a half look at how they made Smaug. There's then a detailed look at Beorn, how they made the spiders, how they made the men of Lake Town. There's then there's 3 documentaries about the music. So part 10 is kind of more specific things, but they're incredible. They're absolutely incredible, and well worth getting. And so it's been really good. Oh, and there's a tiny little preview of the Battlefield Armies, which I posted on Facebook. Which doesn't have too many spoilers, but it does show you these massive. Did you see the picture?
Yes.
These giant. They look like huge cave trolls. There's a cave troll that could fit about 5 orcs on its head, and they've got these chains with blades on attached to their arms that they spin around to kind of smash down walls and stuff. So that looks kind of cool, and they do look like they kind of fit in the world. I think they might be a model. So, but highly recommend.
We might talk about that a bit later.
We will.
Yeah, okay, so cool. Other movie news, we now know where the world premiere is going to be.
Yes.
There was a short video posted on the Facebook group, and it's going to be in London.
Hey!
So there's a video of Ian McKellen, Martin Freeman, Luke Evans, Orlando Bloom, and Richard Armitage. Just saying this over the course of about 2 minutes. And it's in Leicester Square. So, I imagine that'll be absolutely jam-packed.
Would you go?
I don't know what you'd see if you didn't.
Oh God!
How close you'd be.
Oh God! They'll want us to go.
What?
Do we go for the channel? Oh God!
Are we going to be there from like miles away?
Miles back with a camera. This was not worth it. It's raining. It's December.
It's December the 1st.
Oh,
so, what day is December the 1st?
What day is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm busy on December 1st.
You're busy.
As, Emma's asked me to do something. Lily said she was out that night though.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
not free.
Oh, great.
December the 1st.
It's a Monday.
A Monday evening.
Yeah. It's a Monday evening.
I don't know. Would you be tempted?
I mean, I can get there easily enough. But think how early you'd have to.
You have to get there at stupid o'clock.
Yeah. We'd be at work though. There's no way you could get there at a reasonable time.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. If it's in London,
Yeah.
for the last Hobbit film,
Yeah. You
we
might
could
pop
go. We could have a
along,
few
try and see a
drinks or
bus
something.
going.
Yeah, it might. Who knows? Maybe. We could do live Palantir from
Live
Leicester Square.
Palantir from Leicester.
Yeah, this is getting dangerously. This is getting.
Think of the noise in the background.
Uh,
Oh, we could invite them onto a sketch.
Got all
All the
the
cast,
if you got
they-
text mode. Now that when they do that, when you have a major news story and they move the person, like they move the presenters to like George Aladeo was presenting from Heathrow when they had all the issues there. Because it's a big deal. We
yeah.
do the Palantir from.
Oh, I
Leicester
see what
Square.
you mean. Like BBC have people stationed everywhere.
Yeah. But no, I mean sometimes they move the anchor.
Oh, they move the anchor.
Yeah, the actual anchor
Oh, yeah,
to do the whole thing.
We
You
could
get it at elections.
We
a
need
lot.
a sofa.
Yeah, we should move the sofa. Yeah, who knows? It might be worth it. It's the last chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in London, which is cool.
Yep.
December the 1st, so just under 2 weeks. As of yet, tickets still not on sale. I'm very excited about. I haven't asked you on this. I feel like this is the difference between our relationship.
Yeah.
James asks Jamie to his wedding. I'm going to ask Tom if he wants to go to the cinema with me.
Oh, is this for the
but
IMAX thing?
For the IMAX thing.
Yeah, Lily said, "Oh, I assume we're going with Damian."
Yeah, I'll try and.
So
it's
Lily's
not on
up for
sale
it
yet.
anyway.
And yeah, I was going to basically invite Lily and. But yeah, the IMAX tickets. I want to see this one in IMAX, and I'm checking the IMAX website every single day, and they're so annoying with it that they say people are always asking, post on, they're going, when does this go on sale?
Yeah.
When's this go on sale? And they say it hasn't been confirmed yet. They then just release them. They don't, or they might give you a day's notice or something. So I'll try for that, but I'll be definitely up for seeing it that Friday.
Yeah.
And I know James and Jamie said they'd probably do the same, so maybe we'll do a kind of two halves of GBHL review or something.
Yeah.
We should go and see it together, I think.
Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah. Oh,
Marvellous.
we could get Lily on the review. She'd review it. Maybe Emma even.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling it's Emma's Christmas party that night. This happened last year. I obviously I love my wife dearly. All the kind of hilarious banter and jokes aside, I obviously do, and I quite like to share these things with her. You know, it's because she likes the Hobbit movies. And last year, her Christmas party was on the Friday it came out, and a lot of times the big screens do showings on the Thursday, and so I thought we'll get one on the Thursday, and that's what the IMAX movie does. And then I missed the IMAX tickets because of that. They didn't announce it, and I missed them. And I got really annoyed about it. I don't think she mentioned it on that Wargaming video.
I think she did.
Did she? And
I know this story.
I got in such a grump that I'd missed it, and I'd have to go and see it at Richmond.
Yeah.
And because her
Substandard cinema.
yeah, very very much, and because her party was the next day, we had to go we got tickets to a showing at like 5 o'clock, and she went in her full-on glad rags, dressed up. We went to see The Hobbit, and then she had to leave literally straight from that to go and to go off to her meal, which was in Richmond. And that's why we ended up seeing it in Richmond.
Yeah.
So and she had to say to the guy like, "Is it at 7:30 or 7?" And her head teacher, she's a primary teacher. Her head teacher goes, "Why does it matter?" And she's like, "Because I need to know if I can see The Hobbit before it, and because I wouldn't necessarily want to see it without her.
Yeah.
In all honesty. But that said,
Yeah.
it was only on a Friday.
Can you imagine this guy coming out of the cinema having sat there without anybody? He'd have nobody. He'd have to go up to
Terrible.
strangers and start talking.
Talk
to them.
to me. But if there's no Thursday showing, I think we are. I think she's resigned herself to the fact that I'll be there on the Friday, and then me and her will go and see it on the Saturday or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably we'll do that. It's cool.
That'll
It's
be
so exciting now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Now it's really,
Yeah.
really getting close.
Well, exciting and kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah, that's
This
why
is
I'm
it.
quite tempted to go for the Leicester Square thing. It is quite.
Yeah.
it's a
Why
shame.
not? Why not?
I'll do it. It's a night out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing that, and
Yeah.
then there'll be like models to review and stuff. It's all just going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
And
And again, we might get onto that.
Indeed.
One other bit of movie news. There's been these load of pictures come out.
Yeah, I think one of them's from the 27. There was 27 different photos which are from the official movie guide. I think the Brian Sibley ones.
Ooh.
So someone's basically screen grabbed all the not screen grabbed, scanned
Yeah.
all the photos from that and put them up, and they're quite good. But there was big spoiler tags over them. There's not really any spoilers on them. They're on the Facebook group. They're just close ups of a lot of the actors.
Yeah.
There's one of Keeley riding something, which someone suggested was a war goat. It might be Feely, because he's riding like a green barrel, and it could be. But I also thought it might have been some of the stuff is left over from Destination Smoke. I was wondering if it might have actually been a spider or something, or even an eagle or something. So it could be, but maybe potentially Feely gets on one of the goats or the rams.
Whatever they are. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a bunch of photos out there and they're pretty cool, but they're not hugely revealing.
Then there's one controversial one.
Go
on. With Alfred and the Master.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's on the Facebook group anymore, but you'd probably be able to find it.
Yeah.
I think our opinion is that it's not really in keeping that
yeah, it's
kind
basically
of picture.
it's an innuendo photo, isn't it,
blurry.
between two men.
Yes.
And it's just.
It just doesn't fit right.
I'm all for stupid,
yeah.
jokey humour. As anyone who knows me knows. But
I think it's a bit like when we sent the extended edition when they came out with the naughty word that we whilst that would be fine in another context, we think that here in the Lord of the Rings Hobbit world, there's no need for it. It feels a bit.
It feels slightly out of place.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
a bit of a discord.
But then equally, the picture was obviously they've done. If you've watched any of the behind the scenes from any of them, they do all these kind of. Those pictures all come from them wandering around this kind of soundstage, ad-libbing in character, and then just doing lots of bits, and that's where all these publicity shots come from. And they've obviously just done that, and then that photo has somehow got out. There's a lot of shopping going on as well this time, and it's grinding my gears because it's so unnecessary. This sort of stuff really winds me up. To be fair, it's not just the Hobbit film. All movies do this, but the amount of head swaps that are going on, and they're really obvious head swaps. Like it really winds me up with why they do this. That like the scroll poster, that's obviously photoshopped. Fair enough. Everything's put together. Yeah. Airbrush people, fair enough. Like making me hunger, I'm all for that. It's sometimes overdone, fair enough. But there was recently one of a lot of the ones that are in the annual. You've got like Thorin in his gold armour with his sword like that, like that, and it's a photo from Destination Smaug. It's a photo that was released last year of him in a blue coat, going, like that. But the body's different. It's exactly the same head, and they've obviously just got someone else to pose in his armour and put the head on. And they do it. Loads of the dwarf ones from that. Loads of these later publicity shots are clearly done like that. And it's like, why not? You filmed him in the armour. Just take a photo of him in the armour. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it's just the Legolas one. You know the Legolas one, the poster. You know all the posters in the snow, the big close-ups. The one of Legolas doing that. That's a Destination of Smaug poster.
Okay.
It's zoomed out, and he's got the bow in it.
Yeah.
He's got the full bow in it, and you go look at it and go, that is exactly the same picture, and they've just zoomed in a bit. And it's like, what? You had Legolas, take another photo of him. And that just
maybe they were off work for the whole film.
It must be it.
The photographer. Cool. So we're done on film news.
Yes, I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
So I thought. So we mentioned Steve's campaign last time. Well, I say Steve's campaign. The campaign in Stockport. There's a couple.
Jay Finnegan.
Yeah, Jay Finnegan.
Apparently we did the service to Jay Finnegan.
Yeah, sorry.
He's had a big hand in it.
But there are a couple more things. There's one starting in London tomorrow. Callum Edens and James Baldwin, a few others, James Watt, are setting up a battles company.
Was this based at Oxford Street?
At Oxford Street, yeah. They're going to book a table, I don't know, every few weeks.
Oh, that's cool.
And do their own battle companies. So inspired by, I guess, the channel.
Yeah, probably.
But, that sounds really cool. So if you're in the London area,
If you want to get involved in that,
on a weeknight, and also the Mid Sussex Wargamers have their own campaign with a site as well. So a bit like the Stockport one, and they seem to have. I guess they do the turns where you move around the big map. I don't know how that's coordinated exactly.
I've never done that.
No.
I've never done anything like that.
And then play the games based on what happens. So that's kind of cool.
And so, yeah, there's obviously, it's really great to see there's a lot of little leagues and things starting up to get more games in, more varied games. I think a lot of people want to kind of not get away from the tournaments, but do something different to the traditional points match tournaments.
Yeah.
Speaking of tournaments, we've got 2 coming up. 2 GBHL tournaments.
Yeah,
2 Great British Hobbit League tournaments.
Yes.
Coming up. This is going out on Friday, and by the time you see this, probably I'll be driving to Mansfield to the amazing Slayer Gaming.
Yep.
They are putting on a tournament. Slayer are a bit, what's the word? Not secretive, but mysterious about their ticket numbers. There may well still be tickets available.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But there's not.
No.
It's quite hard to know. But you need to buy a ticket for Slayer. So if you are interested, this weekend in which is help me out, the 21st, 3rd. I'm just thinking.
No, like 2nd.
2nd and 3rd of November. That's the sort of time we're talking about.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that era.
I don't know where era.
No, it's an era. The 2nd and 3rd of November is an era. Somewhere in that ilk.
You're telling people to, if you're free tomorrow, go to Mansfield.
Yep.
That's essentially what you're saying.
Yeah. There might be one ticket left. Might be someone watching this in Mansfield.
If in doubt, take a punt tomorrow and drive to Mansfield, and there might be a ticket available.
I'll ring ahead. I'll give them a ring. But it's quite excited about that. Slayer always put on awesome tournaments.
Yeah, and it's pre-Battle of Five Armies tournament is the name.
600 points, and it's the 6 rulebook scenarios. Backwards indeed. Which massively. No, I'm not gonna say anything about this because it will go out before the tournament. Might give the game away.
Yeah. Ooh.
But an awful lot hanging in the balance for me on this one.
Yeah.
3 events left throughout the year.
Yep.
Currently just about in first, but with a lot to lose.
And it's an emotional weekend because it's the first time you'll ever go to a tournament without me.
It is. It's a true story. First tournament without you. So yeah, very emotional, very exciting, very good. It's going to be interesting not being annoyed all weekend. Yeah. I've never experienced that before. So that'll be good. But yeah, it will be weird because you are...
It's my grandpa's birthday, so...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, always be good fun, good crack in Mansfield. And then the next one after that, we have Stirling.
Yes, again you say we, but...
You're not going to that either?
No.
I'm making the trek because David Reed, who runs the Stirling events, has made a lot of effort with the Southern events, and I really wanted to try and get to at least one of his, and he always apparently puts on great events. So yeah, there are still tickets available for that, and that is November the 23rd, I believe. That's it's called is it Desolation of Stirling? No, Scouring of Stirling.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
is that right?
You're right. Yeah.
It's on the Facebook group if you're interested in that. Go and check it out. Another 2-day tournament, 800 points, 2 armies, which is really exciting.
The first one this year.
That's one this year, so that's cool because it's something different, and it puts a very different dynamic on your force because you need a really competitive force of both if you're trying to compete. And that will also be. That event is the first event now where potentially the league could be decided. Yeah. That one. It can't be done at Mansfield.
Because it's the penultimate event.
Yeah.
Depending on how results come.
Yeah, obviously. It might not be. But, yeah, so 2 events coming up in November, which we're very excited about. And you might be able to get to the first one, but you can definitely get to Stirling if you're free on that weekend. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah. Cool. Right, we're kind of getting there.
Yeah.
Being able to start talking about stuff. So yeah, after last week there were a few comments that came through that were some interesting points kind of on the extended edition stuff. So we talked about the omission of the Bayonne torture scene.
Yeah.
And Matt Rondo thought that there's still a good chance that they may put it in at the start of the Battle of Five Armies, given that Bayon will kind of, spoilers, turn up later.
To remind
them that
you.
he's, I guess, to give it, keep him in mind that he might come back later.
Because there's very little, if you follow the book, you'll have another 2 hours of film and then a bear will appear.
Yeah.
And you'll have to the casual viewer, you'll have to be like, oh yeah, that was the guy from the start of the last film.
Yeah, exactly, which is a bit... The other option is that he's in the Lego set, isn't he, for Dol Guldur?
Yes,
he goes to Dol Guldur with the White Council, somehow bumps into them on their way, and then he has flashbacks there.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the other option.
I mean, he could then, he could go to the White Council. He might well appear in a very different way. He might well
come with Gandalf.
Yeah, come with Gandalf as a man and then transform into it.
Yeah.
Did you see the battle map? That was pretty cool. Peter Jackson's battle map.
I've not. No, I actually strayed away from what. Is this how the Battle of Five Armies plays out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not really. I mean,
it's not a spoiler.
It's a bunch of coloured arrows.
Okay, I deliberately didn't look.
It's quite interesting, and they've got numbers, and then it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not obvious, but the highest numbers Bayon, implying potentially that he comes in last. But it's basically like where they are, and very, very basic, but quite interesting. I don't know if that was on the Facebook group or if it was just on the One Ring, but like Google it if you want. It was quite cool. He talked to, I think he was talking to Entertainment Weekly perhaps.
Right. There we go. Okay.
There's another few scenes, by the way, on other stuff that was cut. Watching the behind the scenes stuff, there's loads of other scenes. The one Tom Macklin was talking about.
Yeah, that was.
They give that, and again, so they give it good coverage, and almost to show you, all right, they didn't put them in, but here they are. Yeah. And there's a chat between Thranduil and Legolas.
Okay.
In Thranduil's halls.
Yeah.
Staring at the Lonely Mountain. They've got like this vista, and it's just after Tariel's gone. And Thranduil's saying you can go and get her, and you've got 2 days to get her and bring her back. And he does the whole prophecy poem stuff. And it's like that's so cool. Put it in a movie.
Yeah. What? Do you think? Do you think the actors are sometimes a bit gutted if they get to the extended version? It's like, well, you didn't even put it in there.
But it does make you think, like, God forbid, but down the line, the extended, there's a lot of stuff from these Hobbit films.
They could just do it.
Still isn't in them. Just get rid of that green screen smell bit.
Yeah.
Put all the good stuff in. Yeah. But yeah, if you watch them all, there's quite a few little bits like that that still aren't in it.
It's interesting. That'll be nice to see. Larry Miller, as always, with an astute comment. He's wondering why Gimli's helmet is in Erebor, or at least wants us to.
It looks like it, doesn't it? He's been banging on about it all week. Whenever there's a photo, like, there's the helmet again.
There's the helmet. I reckon that Glowing will probably just wear it at some point.
Maybe.
And then it's a clear link between the two.
One of those was in one of those photos from the official movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's a picture of Oin next to a helmet on a rack, and it looks. I haven't actually looked at it closely, but apparently it looks very, very much like Gimli's helmet, which would make sense.
Yeah, pass it on.
Glowing picks it up in Erebor, puts it on, gives it to Gimli. It might be a nice touch.
Yeah,
could work. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
good spot, Larry. Unless you're wrong, in which case it's just a helmet, mate.
Cool. Okay, so and then also. We're asked about, I think this is Nalzi, was asking about whether, for the Battle of Five Armies, whether we think that Games Workshop would come up with War of the Ring again in kind of for Battle of Five Armies.
Yeah, people have been saying it for ages, haven't they? Like for years.
And if it did come, whether we'd welcome that.
Yeah, it was like before the Hobbit releases came out, it was like, well, they'll do this, and then by the third film they'll probably do Battle of Five Armies. I think it's because it's a big game.
Yeah. But I think the answer's no. I don't think they'll do it.
I agree.
I don't know any of the sales information, but I can't imagine that War of the Ring did. If they're not running tournaments of War of the Ring anymore, it doesn't signify that it's doing as well as.
Yeah, when they released a new set of source books in I think that was January 2012, the Warband ones. They essentially then killed War of the Ring. They then went, all right, we're going to kind of reinvest in this to run through the Hobbit line, but we're doing SPG rather than War of the Ring. And without sounding too negative, what's been pretty clear is they the Hobbit SPG has not been selling as well as they thought it would, like throughout this run. And whilst I think they'll support it through the third film, I don't see any chance of them
doing it,
bringing War of the Ring back out for it. And it's one battle.
Yeah.
It's not. They did it for the War Master scale version. They had the box called the Battle of Five Armies.
Yeah.
Which I've got somewhere. Which was just the whole battle in one box because it was only 10mm scale. But that made sense because it was one box.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do a whole new
get
rule set.
But I mean, you could easily make it up, right? You've got the core War of the Ring rules.
Yeah,
so
they're still there.
I imagine that somebody will post something somewhere, like the One Ring, with a rule set for it.
My issue, I've never actually played it. I've got the book and I liked the idea of it. But the problem people always said is that there's loads of loopholes, you can break it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's only a problem if you're playing competitively.
Yeah, I think I've played it a few times when it first came out, just friendly games, and it seemed good. I think that the only problem is that you have to have a right multiple, so
Probably 8.
multiple of 8. So I mean, cavalry's easier because it's multiple 2, but you know, it's just really irritating numbers, and it's hard to make it look cool without loads of models. And because we collect for SPG, we have, you know, a nice amount of models for SPG and not for War of the Ring.
I built my Isengard army, future proofing it for War of the Ring, because I've got 24 ferals, 24 crossbowmen, 16 berserkers. That's done intentionally.
Yeah.
So at some point I've got enough. You know, between us we've definitely got enough.
I've got enough
Isengard
elves.
and Rohan. You think you've got enough elves?
Yeah.
Like I'd be up for giving it a go.
Yeah.
On the channel.
I've got all the bases.
Have you? Yeah, we should do that. But
We could have a do with it actually. To be fair.
Well, definitely. I wouldn't mind playing it, but because you wouldn't pick these uber competitive Death Star units that break the game. You know, you'd play it for fun. But no, I don't think they'll do it. I don't think there'll be a new version of War of the Ring.
Yeah, comment below if you'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Us playing. I don't know, Isengard against Rohan or Isengard against Elves. I think those, or even no, you don't have any Gondor. We probably wouldn't be able to get Gondor.
Yeah, a few of us together.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that. Oh yeah, Nalzi also asked which models to snap up essentially.
Oh yeah, because we talked about this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
What you should pick up and
the key thing's just metals, Lord of the Rings metals, and I guess any fine cast ones that you really want if you're into the fine cast, because they sometimes have gone, but they tend to flitter in and out.
Yeah.
There have been some that have stopped, like the World Marauder. So the new wave of fine cast.
Ashrak and Groblog have gone. Haven't they,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, it's metals and the books.
Yeah, the source books definitely.
Because Fallen Realms and Free Peoples have now gone.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll be coming back. So the reason you should get Finecast as well is because they've been out less time. The Finecast exclusive models are incredibly rare. Like people post all the time about a Groblog or an Ashrak, and there's not many out there because not a lot. They're only on sale for about 2 years.
So it's not easy to get on eBay.
So yeah, and because people thought they were expensive at the time. Not a lot of people bought them out, so there's not a lot on the
You
second-hand
did have
market.
an Ashrak, didn't you?
I had an Ashrak, and I think actually, do you know what? I think I traded it with Dave Fredericks.
Was that for an Ant?
Yeah, I
A
think
tree.
like long before
For a tree.
for a tree giant.
Yeah, not an Ant.
Long before I'd met him, I think I sent him Ashrak and maybe Elrond, Master of Rivendell. Can't remember, but yeah, I did and got rid of him.
Clever.
Give me it back though. So yeah, with the metals and Lord of the Rings Finecast and books.
Yeah.
Source books.
Yep. And kind of a similar-ish question, well, maybe not quite, but Ben Shaw commented saying, obviously it's well known now that the Perry brothers are no longer with Games Workshop. So, you know, that doesn't mean that they've not done anything for this film, but does that mean that that's kind of it for Lord of the Ring Hobbit?
Yeah.
He does say no, it doesn't, that they do have other sculptors, but they were, as it's kind of widely known, they were kind of the driving force.
Yeah, they've sculpted the majority of the
most
range for the last 12 years.
So what do we think?
They left in the middle of the year, which I've always thought to me means they'd finished their stuff for Battle 5 Armies.
Yeah.
This is kind of our first main discussion topic, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we knew we had a lot of kind of movie news and stuff, which is kind of a discussion topic.
Yeah.
But this was a kind of wider topic about the models coming out, and so we might as well. I think can we go off agenda?
What do you mean off agenda?
Right, is this not going off agenda?
We're on agenda.
We're on agenda. Sorry.
Let me worry about the agenda.
Sorry, you looked panicked. You look really.
I looked panicked because you were like, "This is the first topic," and I was like, "We've already been going for getting on for 40 minutes." I don't know what it'll be.
There's no such thing as a long video here, Molly. Yeah, but we've got two main areas to discuss, haven't we? And this is one of them.
Yes.
I mean, this isn't helping.
No.
Talking about the things we've got to talk about.
No. We can cut it.
So yeah, we won't cut it.
We will not cut it.
Enjoy. They left in the middle of the year. They left in around June time, as memory serves, June, July, which to me means because of the production time and the getting them painted and getting them photographed.
Yeah.
They've clearly, I think, and as ever, only our opinions, they've clearly sculpted a range of models for the Battle 5 Army.
Yeah.
So that's great. And the issue that we've talked about in a couple of videos and that people run up is any late additions, any CGI creatures might suffer.
Yeah. Or let's say Azog turns up in armour.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and then you miss that.
Which seems to be a recent change.
Yes.
Based on the posters, that Azog now has armour and a big sword arm.
But you wouldn't see that if that was done late on.
Yeah.
Unless they saw the concept art.
Yes, unless it was just done, actually CG'd at the last minute. But even all the CGI stuff is done from traditional design work, like sculptures and drawings. So yeah, it's perfectly possible. So yeah, I'd be inclined to think that the Perrys have sculpted a lot for it, but other sculptors are still there and do work on the Lord of the Rings range. A lot of the heroes last year weren't done by the Perrys. Yeah. Like the later heroes, I think things like the Thranduil yoga pose, which won't fill people with hope, and there's definitely a few out there, a few of those heroes from the Desolation Smag release that weren't done by the Perrys.
This is the funny thing. People get pessimistic about what's going to be released, and then they release random things like the extra bonus Thranduil.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they will have more models.
Yeah. So, the question posed by, I think it was Nalzi, wasn't it, that kind of formed our discussion topic, was what's coming out.
Yes.
And we thought this was a good time to address it because as of today, it's the 29th of October.
Yeah.
And in my head, I think, we'll start to see something Hobbit related around about the 21st of November.
Yeah.
So I think in about 3 weeks' time, we'll be getting leaks.
So we've got to start talking about it now.
Yeah, so I thought we haven't got long to actually get our on video predictions of the toys we're going to see, and it's there's a lot of exciting stuff about at the moment. So it was a good time to talk about this.
So if you could see one model, what would it be?
See what?
Just
one model to be released.
If you just got one, what would it be?
One model, not even one troop type, like.
Oh well, yeah. Well, okay. Well, just one
thing.
set, or yeah.
God, I don't know.
I don't mean it in that we're only going to get one. I just mean what are you most looking forward to seeing?
Maybe the Armoured Company.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, assuming they get profiles as well.
Yeah.
They've got to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Armoured, yeah, that probably.
I think we can take Smaug out of this equation, I guess.
No, of course, yeah. I didn't even think.
No,
Bulk. Maybe Bulk. I want a Bulk.
You stole my answer.
Oh, sorry. I mean an Armoured Company.
Yes, you mean an Armoured Company.
Oh, okay. Alright, so Bulk.
Bulk, yeah, Bulk.
Yeah.
I think Bulk would be a great model. Someone sculpted it on the Facebook group.
Yeah, wasn't it Samot or Samot or something like that?
I don't know, but it looked pretty good.
It looked incredible. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to get anywhere near that.
You sculpting?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
But even the GW one,
I'd be hard pressed. Yeah, definitely. And there was a cool Weta model released of him kind of pointing at.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was really good.
But yeah, hopefully we'll get a movie realistic Bulk. I've just finished painting my Good and Bad Walk General,
Yeah.
and I love it, and I love that design. But you know, we have to accept change, and there is a new bulk in there, and we need a bulk model.
Yeah.
I think who could, as we discussed recently, he'll be on a WAG and
Yeah,
smash
if
everything.
Bulb goes on a WAG, then he becomes amazing.
Fence 7 would bring
Yeah,
it death.
a Bulb pack with Bulb on a WAG and Bulb would be great.
That'd be cool.
I'd like to see the Armoured Elves.
Yeah, I mean, I think we will see them. It's
Yeah.
kind of, it makes a lot of sense because they're in all the trailers, which means they're likely going to be in the first release. But I'm not that excited because they're
It's the
essentially
smaller elves.
Galathrim, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're wood elves in armour. They'll be
Yeah.
nice to get some new models,
Yeah.
and I'll get some.
I'm
But
sure they'll make them look cool.
would they have 100% bow limit, or is that going to be?
But they can't, because otherwise they'd have to. I mean, they could take the Elven cloaks off them, but you know, otherwise they're getting up to whatever 16 points.
Because it
17
is.
points each.
It's not Mirkwood Rangers, is it? It's Thranduil's
No.
Hall's armies.
Yeah.
And it's just that Mirkwood Rangers
'Cause
are the only
it could
ones
just be
that have
Palace
bows.
Guard rules with a bow.
Yeah.
Take the shield away, give them a bow.
Yeah, potentially. I would think they
Well,
would.
they could just do 2+2+.
Because I really like the I like the Mirkwood Rangers. Everyone, I remember this time not this time last year, but about a month in this time last year, everyone was panicking about how the Mirkwood Rangers were going to break the game because their rails were 100% shoot rate, and they don't at all.
No.
But they
It's
are
so
good.
expensive.
Yeah, because they're so expensive and they're very very weak.
Killable.
Yeah,
When you get into them.
and I do think GW pay attention to that stuff. So I don't think they'll have 100% bows. I think
No.
they'll be fairly boring profiles. But yeah, some nice new armoured elves
Yeah.
would be good.
Yeah, other elves. I mean, it would be nice to have Thranduil
On his
mounted.
moose.
Yeah.
His moose is his elk. It's definitely in
Elk.
there. It's definitely in the film.
Yeah, because it's on the
It's on the
banner
poster, they-
scroll, yeah.
He's filmed stuff on a horse that gets CGI'd into an elk.
But yeah, the Shadow and Flame have just done one. Have you seen that?
An elk?
Yeah, it's on the Facebook group now.
Is it?
As in today.
Oh no, I haven't. What, a Thranduil on there?
Yeah.
Are you directing me to it?
Yeah. I think it's.
This is again great content for the guys.
Yeah.
You
Go
gotta
on the
see
Facebook
it.
group and find
You
it.
talk to them, don't just make them watch me.
Oh, you want me to talk?
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. It'd also be nice if they released Legolas on horse with and an Orcrist Legolas. I doubt they will, but they might do, and that would, you know, reduce the inflated price of Legolas on horse. 'Cause he's then on horse.
And Gandalf as well.
Yeah,
Potentially
Gandalf on horse would be brilliant. Yeah, the Armoured Thorns company should be great if that comes.
Iron Hills Dwarfs.
Yes, and Dane
Yeah, Dane on pig, boar, goat, ram,
thing.
whatever he is. I've gone back some way here. I can't. Oh, that bold looks nice.
I don't know where it's gone then. Or maybe it's on their page. Did you like their page?
Is it on Shadow and Flame?
Yeah.
Is that where it is?
Sorry for.
This is his fault.
Yeah, wasting your time whilst Damian looks on Facebook. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
It's amazing, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, that's really good. It's just a conversion though. It's not for.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, that's incredible.
But we want it.
We does want it. Yeah. We'll bagsy that before James gets his eye on it.
Yeah.
We'll have that one. If you're sending it out. That is incredible. I presume that's converted and sculpted by Dave.
Yeah, it's.
That's just
amazing.
incredible. Yeah, go and check it out. Shadow and Flame, channel sponsors.
Yeah.
It's a Wild Rider. What are they called? Wild Riders? The Wood Elf.
Oh, yeah,
the
no,
plastic
yeah.
stags.
Yeah.
And I had visions of doing that. I remember when they came out, but it would have looked worse than that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done
No.
that.
And then they
Today
put
it's sculpted green stuff for antlers and reins and extra fur, etc.
That looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
The only slight annoyance for me about Iron Hills Dwarfs is I've spent the last few months painting up my Erebor Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And it's not the end of the world, but I think by Christmas I would have just about finished that army. And then they'll release a bunch of new dwarfs. I'm like, oh, I want to paint dwarfs, but
Yeah.
I now want to get some Iron
You'll
Hills.
want to get them.
So I think we'll get Iron Hills Dwarfs on foot and Iron Hills Dwarfs on boar, ram, goat.
Yeah. Thing.
Yeah.
Broat.
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 Iron Hills Dwarfs on broats.
I wondered what you were on about then. Do you reckon we'll get Bard's family?
Oh, no. They
They'd make nice kind of collection
civilian
pieces.
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a new bard. At the very least, we'll get him in his chainmail.
Yeah, Bard and
Defense
Armor.
5.
Give him some defence.
Yeah, some extra defence would be great.
Bilbo? New Bilbo? In his blue coat?
Yeah, we don't have a Bilbo in a blue coat. That'd be very well.
That would be nice.
Because that's now after the 2 films become quite iconic.
Yeah.
Evil stuff.
More Gundabad's?
Maybe there'll be a plastic orc kit.
You'd hope so.
You'd think there'd be some form of new orc kit.
Orcs.
Some evil kit. There's trolls.
Yeah,
there's
trolls.
definitely trolls at the battle.
So trolls would
So
be good.
maybe a new Hobbit troll.
Yeah.
And those things I was talking about, maybe.
Yeah.
Depends how late on they
Do you
were.
reckon they'd bring, if they have ballistas, that kind of thing?
Yeah, possibly. PJ described them as panzers.
Okay.
Like something equivalent to that, which is kind of a bizarre analogy, but the idea that they've got some kind of moving tank type thing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want anyone to freak out. He hasn't said tanks, but he's used that as the analogy.
Though
that
there's tank-like stuff in Tolkien.
Yeah, like a moving siege tower that maybe shoots flame or something like that. I don't know exactly, but you might get something like that.
Yeah.
There's potential for a huge range, and probably some form of Lake Town rabble. Because it's now become pretty apparent that there isn't an army of men.
Yeah.
That the men at the Battle of Five Armies are the refugees of Lake Town.
Yeah.
And are peasants. There's a line in the preview in the extended version. Bard like goes, "If for every man who wants to give his last, follow me," and it's like he's raised the survivors.
Yeah.
To kind of fight.
Yeah,
the
you see
orcs.
it when he runs out with the sword.
So that would be cool. But again, I'm hoping for plastic box sets here. But maybe we should think they're going to be fine costs and be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
For the troops.
Also, on the Dol Guldur route, would we get a Necromancer model, a new Galadriel model?
I don't know if you get a Necromancer model.
More the Witch King, Undead?
Maybe,
Things
yeah.
like that.
A new Twilight Ringwraith. Something like that.
That'd be nice.
Galadriel, potentially.
Yeah.
Kind of angry Galadriel.
Saruman? Another Saruman?
Yeah.
Maybe that. I mean, they've got the White Council boxer.
Yeah. But they're all fairly passive poses, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Another Thranduil, do you reckon? I don't know. They've got 2, but he's going to be all armoured. So there's
you need Thranduil. If they do, I think if they do his elk pack, foot and mounted in armour.
In armour, yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
I
mean, if they did it right, just think of the amount of people who would just go bonkers and get everything.
Yeah, if it's all there,
and
I'm cautiously optimistic for this release. I think the actual model wise, I think I said this in a video a while ago. There's quite a lot. I think the range has been served quite well. Some people won't feel there has been material wise in the fine cuts, but in terms of the amount of models, I think we've done really well out of it, and I think there could be a huge push for this last film. You could even get Guahir. That's something else I read. No, sorry, we've got Guahir there. No, it's just made the connection. In some article I read recently, they said you're going to see Guahir in the film, for the first time. You're going to have, he's going to be like a Lord of the Eagles. It's not just going to be them on Eagle. Even in Lord of the Rings, there's no reference to him being Guahir. Someone somewhere made some reference to the fact that you will have their leader or something, which could be quite cool. Bats maybe, bat swarms that are meant to fight the eagles. So there's an awful lot of stuff that could come out, and fingers crossed. What do you think they're gonna do? Because this was one question, wasn't it, about the rule book? What do you think they're gonna do in terms of? Let's be optimistic. All these models come out.
Yep.
What do we get in terms of profiles? And rules and books.
It'll be
and
a source book.
You think a source book like that?
Yeah, and I think that my rationale behind that is that Simon Grant's spending the time to do the FAQ now, so why would he bother if they were going to be releasing new rules anyway?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So I think that it would just be a source book with scenarios, and we can hope that there are scenarios like Lake Town scenarios and things like that aren't in the old book, that I think were written. Yeah.
There's potential for it. We could get like special rules for fighting in Lake Town.
Yeah.
But you think something akin to this?
Yeah, and it doesn't look much, but that was a very good book.
It's a brilliant book, yeah.
I mean, it's not a full rule book, but I don't want to be shelling out for a full rule book every time.
No, I think the core Hobbit rules now are stable. There's
Yeah.
a few problems with them, but I don't think we need another
It's not
revision.
worth a revision, no.
I think it does really well, and I really enjoyed this. This had a really good balance of profiles, scenarios, hobby stuff,
Yeah.
new points match games. Just there was a lot to enjoy in it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Bearing in mind the profiles in this one, and I probably can't hold this up for too long, like legally or whatever. But the profiles would come like this at the back, weren't they?
Mhm.
It was like about 8 pages of profiles.
Yeah.
What do you think they do about Thorin's company? Let's say they armoured.
Oh.
Because that Thorin's company is about 6 pages.
No, well, because all they have to do is put a army list, Thorin's company, and say special rule for the company. Each of the members can purchase armour for an extra 5 points. Done.
And
Plus
plus
one
one
defence.
defence. Yeah, I agree with you.
Then you don't have to write it all down.
I think that's what it will be. I think for all of them across the board, it'll just say, because there's no point in reprinting 12, and I don't think they'll have new profiles or anything. It's literally just adding.
Unless you had a Thorin weakened, that would be the only
maybe
thought.
That's what
Thorin
I'd
the
go
broken.
for. Yeah, absolutely. Spoilers. I think that, and it's for something else as well. I can't, because I don't think Bard would get a new profile.
No.
Because there's a lot of people whose profiles change. You have Bard needing armour, Thranduil needing an elk mount, Bolg potentially needing a what. You know, there's things like this that possibly hint towards a bigger book.
Yeah.
Because the amount, if they're going to do it properly, the amount of profiles they'd need.
Yeah, maybe.
But there was something else like that I thought that someone needs a kind of plus. You have to be able, you know, there was some profile that has to be able to take this. I can't remember what it was. But it'd be interesting to see.
Mm.
And so yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're optimistic.
Start of December, Battle of 5 Armies, a whole bunch of new models, and we'll see. We will of course keep you apprised of the slightest hint of a rumour of a single Hobbit model.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see how they get released weekly, because it certainly won't come out in, you know, the Destination Smaug thing was 2 waves. It was like a monthly White Dwarf with all the elves, a monthly White Dwarf with all the Lake Towners, and then a weekly, a long time later, with Bjorn and the Gundabad. Whereas this is far more likely to be a weekly one with
So hopefully we'll get
elves and
some
Thranduil.
good magazine content.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So yes, that is what we think and what we hope will come out.
Okay, so next to our final discussion point, kind of prolific at suggesting discussions, this guy, it's Ian Marley.
Yeah, Ian Marley, you're coming up with really good things. Please keep suggesting what we should talk
We
about.
can never think of anything. He's asked, inspired, he was kind of getting inspired doing his Wood Elves, and he asked us what motivates us to paint and convert models, kind of get armies done or whatever, get our hobby time in.
You?
I think it's changed over the last year or so. So about a year ago, I had a reasonable backlog. So my motivation was essentially saying you're not allowed to buy anymore until you've done some.
Well, that works, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I set myself a challenge of painting on average 4 a week for the year, which I managed till about June, July. And then did nothing since then because of SBG and things like that taking over a bit more. So yeah, that motivated me just to get through the backlog, to allow me to feel as if I could buy more and that I'd get through them. Another thing is that you do paint for tournaments. I didn't used to when I first started. I'd just take what I had, make an army out of what I had. But then this year, because I wanted to take a new themed army to each event, I tried to do a new army for each tournament. Obviously it's not feasible because they're so close, and I'm not like Jamie. I can't just bosh out an army in a day like he does.
His speed's incredible.
Amazing. So yeah, I've done a few armies like that, and some of them have been quite, you have to, in the week running up to the event, you've got to put quite a few hours in to get it done. What else? I mean, I generally just, I need to have enough free time to get it done. I don't like, if I've got half an hour free. I won't get the paints out and sit down and just do half an hour. I like to be able to sit for a stretch and get some solid painting done. Don't know. Converting, I've not done anything too extensive. Generally, my conversions will be weapon swaps and things like that. Not to be filthy, just to change the poses up a bit.
There's a thread on the One Ring entitled "How can I get hold of 28mm axes?" I was like, oh god, don't.
So I've got a Rohan army that's built. Well, the Rohan foot models, a lot of them have changed weapons. So I've got some of the archers are now got swords as well, or I've made one of the guys who starts with a sword. He's now an archer, and put a quiver on his back.
Just to get a bit of variety in the
poses. just to change up the poses basically, and it's quite nice. And I think it's nice on an army when you see somebody else's and you're like, actually that isn't how it came.
A lot of people doing that with Gundabad recently. You know, it's like Sam did it, I think, and Sam definitely did it, and someone on the One Ring, I don't know who, sorry, Scythius maybe on the One Ring, I think, has done 38 Gundabads and converted loads of them, just to make them look different, because there's only 3 poses of each. So that's
I had to convert a Gundabad sword to not be a sword. I used a Hunter Orc weapon because it was quite fragile and snapped.
Fine cost.
But I think that's... I really enjoy the packs that allow for, I wouldn't say conversions, but like the Easterling Cataphracts, the Hunter Orcs, Cavalry, those kind of packs where they give you a lot of variety on how to put them together. I really enjoy that. It does make it a bit tricky when you're first starting because you have to think about what you want on each one.
Yeah, I found that with the Grimhammers. It's not at all clear. The Grimhammers and the Palace Guard, it's not clear whose arms go with what. And part of that's good because it does mean you can change them around, but you have to put a lot of thought into it before you glue any of them to make sure they all match up with each one.
Yeah. So you can talk for a bit and I'll probably think of something else.
For me, it's largely to do with theme. I when I started Lord of the Rings, what I was driven by was the scenarios. Kind of what Jamie's doing now. I was painting stuff to play the scenarios. So I painted 24 goblins, and then I painted a cave troll and 2 captains. Then I painted like the 24 Uruk scouts. So I was just working my way through it, and then that's why I started with Isengard and Rohan armies, because I started painting out the stuff for the Helm's Deep scenarios. They became the most, not even armies, but the most models I had. And I went to the doubles tournament where we met, and you needed 2 1,000 point armies. So I just painted some more stuff to make it when we had stupid heroes and stuff, just to fill up the points. So that's kind of where my collection started. And then I went through a period where I started, this was like maybe the start of last year, I started trying to make a competitive tournament army, which is where I started painting all the ferals and stuff, and kind of completed my Isengard force. And then this year has been more about fluff. Has been like fluff and theme has been motivating me. So because I was competing in the league this year, it wasn't tournaments really that motivated me, because I was just using my Isengard army a lot. But one that did was Sign of Skulls, kind of like talked about, and there's videos about where that I really wanted to go all out to win the best army thing. So I spent a lot of time before that picking a cool army and converting it and painting it and building the board, and that was really fun. I enjoyed having a project like that where I was doing it for the fluff. And then that's kind of what I've been doing recently, like converting all my arable dwarfs, because I wanted a cool army to play out scenarios again. It's kind of gone full circle, and I've been trying to paint up stuff for different Hobbit scenarios. I painted up like Thorin's Company, kind of the tail end of last year, and then painted up Fimble and Azog and Yazneg on Warg, so I could play those scenarios. So that's my kind of motivation. If you've been watching my hobby vlogs, they kind of explain it in a more sort of stream of consciousness sort of way, where I just chatter away, and they're kind of I paint. I've got a group of models I know I want to paint by Christmas, but which one I pick up and paint, just It really just depends on how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I haven't done Throwing the Bokum, but I was really, really motivated to do him after the Desolation of Smaug.
Yeah.
The extended version of seeing that, and I did my little Barling conversion, which I was really pleased with, and like to hold the two-handed axe, and because I want to use him in a film aesthetic.
Yeah.
Dimril Dale Army with the younger profile.
Yeah.
And obviously now as well, some of what we're doing is about our magazine, it's about SBG. Like, as we're going forward with that, which we're really chuffed with how everyone's reacted to it, so thank you to you all. We're of course thinking about the articles in the next issue, the battle report in the next issue. We're not going to, won't give anything away yet.
No.
I'm sure we'll be drip feeding spoilers, teasers even, over the next few months, but we know what's in the battle report and what the new scenarios are and the kind of theme, so you know, that is motivating us to do certain things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I need to get my act together.
We do, and you really, really do. And so I think perhaps going forward that'll be a influence for us. We'll always be thinking, okay, well what can we do to feature in the magazine?
Yeah.
I think that's become a big thing. And obviously as soon as Christmas comes around, it'll be shiny new toys.
Yeah.
But definitely at the moment I feel really good about my hobby. I don't feel like I'm painting anything towards being competitive at all. I'm painting the models I like to make kind of cool armies. I'm building this army of Thor Force at the moment, and then I'll be painting things for tournaments to get. I'll be building kind of like what we were talking about, the list building, theorising last week. Sort of saying, okay, so I want this cool force for this tournament.
Yeah.
So I need to paint this for that.
Yeah.
And bringing it along for that. That's it for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I put. My main motivation for actually painting is relaxation. I like to just chill out for an hour at the end of the day, and just paint a little figure or two. I find that's a very good way to end. I treat it like reading a book in bed. You know, it's just everything slows down and you do something. So yeah, those kind of things. I think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've already done Mirkwood, so with Thranduil, Legolas, Tauriel, Palace Guard and Mirkwood Rangers. I'm looking forward to now doing some Hobbit Evil stuff. So
yeah, my issue at the moment is I've got too much stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mean just the big box. I mean the cool things I want to do. I want to do Thor and Thrain and I've done Thor and the Young Dwarfs.
Yeah.
And I want to do my Dale Warriors for that battle company thing. And I want to do more Lake Towners.
For what?
The battle companies.
For the London thing?
No, for the next series. Someone's not watched the Dale Warriors on Boxing, have they? Yeah, they've seen that. Jamie approved it. Well, someone doesn't watch the channel. Unbelievable.
Do you know what the appalling thing is? I've watched that video.
Yeah, whenever I start talking, just mutes it.
Just ignore. Oh, I was doing the washing up, so you know sometimes it's noisy. And I won't listen to every word.
So there's that. My Lake Towns I want to finish.
Yeah.
I want to do my Gundabad. So all four nowish.
It's a good job you paint quickly,
isn't it? Need to get Jamie down there, train him to a desk.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I've got a bunch of things like that. So I'll do that. Then I'll do that. No, then I'll do that and do it. So yeah, kind of what I want essentially every week. Kind of the thing that I fancy painting. I try and do now. So yeah,
cool.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I think we are probably about sort of the hour 9 minutes mark.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm not going for 10. We're not quite there. Hour 9. Oh no, plus sketch.
Yeah.
So that's about 4 minutes this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hour 13.
Hope you enjoyed that. Should we release kind of a single or something like that?
It was a beautiful performance. I'm sure everyone will agree.
Did that in one take, I'm sure.
One take, absolutely. Absolutely.
Dear.
So yes, we hope you've enjoyed this week.
Yeah.
As ever. And we'll be back next week, maybe with a trailer.
Hopefully with a trailer.
Peter Jackson said it'll be out in October.
And then James teased us all with saying, oh, here's a new trailer.
James
no, it's the same as the last one.
Yeah. That trailer's long gone. Long gone. But we've got 2 days left of October, so if he's true to his word, we'll see it by next week. As ever, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your hobby.
And happy strategy battle gaming.